Welcome back. Today we have a special guest. Can you guess by the vehicle who it is? Let's get started.
Oh, it's slow.
All right, so today I am here with a legend, with the man who does the VTOLs. Who is it? It's Lorgs.
Hey.
All right, Lorgs. So what are you here for today? What got you here?
Well, it wasn't the plan that we're going to try to build a VTOL.
That is the plan. You're going to show people like me that can't do it, kind of how to do it?
Yeah, we'll try at least.
All right. So where do we start?
Basically, we'll just have to start building a frame for the whole thing. We're going to build a very basic 4-engine VTOL that has rotating engine exhausts, so it can transition from a vertical flight to a horizontal flight.
All right. So that sounds interesting. It sounds very complicated. Are you going to bring something that's kind of almost done, or are we going to start from scratch?
I thought we'd maybe just start from scratch, just make a basic frame with a few engines and a seat stuck onto it. That's all we need.
All right, so now we're in the editor, and Lorgs is going to walk me through trying to build a frame in here. So he's watching on Discord. He's like the eye above me. And we're going to try to build it. So should I start with maybe a line like this?
Yeah, just start with a line, and we're going to have 4 engines, 4 engine units, 1 in each corner, 2 on the front, 2 in the back.
All right, so we're going to make a really basic one, right? We're not going to get too fancy here.
Oh, no, we'll get fancy later.
Okay, is this long enough, or should I make it a little bit stretched?
Yeah, a little bit longer, maybe.
Tell me when to stop.
Oh, stop.
All right.
There.
All right, and then we'll just make these the same size. Make these the same size.
Yeah.
And then let me...
Approximately the same size, yeah.
Yeah. And then, there we go. All right. That's easy. We need jet engines?
Okay, yeah, jet engines. We'll just make simple jet engines with compressor, a combustion chamber, and turbine and exhausts. We'll be using the rotating exhausts, actually, for this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where are they at? They're not here.
All the way to the right.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
There we have them.
And we need a... Not that. Compressor.
Compressor.
I got that. Do we need a turbine?
Yes, a turbine.
Small, medium?
Normally, I would use the medium one, because then we can hook it up to a generator and also have constantly electricity generating.
Okay.
But we can just as well use the small one now.
Oh.
Doesn't really matter for this example here.
Okay. Do we need pivots right off the bat or not? No pivots?
No.
Okay.
Pivots we'll need if we're going to have the whole engine unit rotating.
Okay.
It functions in the same way, but it will be a very different kind of VTOL controlling.
Okay, but we're using the actual rotating exhaust, so we don't need to do that. We're making it easy.
You could just start with just putting down the compressor, maybe.
Okay, where's the compressor at? There we go. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I often just start with those.
All right, so that works, right?
It kind of looks better if they're pointing backwards, because then you can have the air intake pointing forwards, like with a normal airplane.
Okay, like this then. Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, you can also use those jet ducts as a way to point the components, like the air intake or the exhaust, wherever you want. But yeah, it's up to you. All
right, well, just tell me if I do something dumb. All right, I'm going to put this here. Right, that goes there. It goes. What does it go? Is this compressor? What is this? I'm
yeah,
lost.
That's the compressor.
Okay, and then
that's the first part of the jet engine.
And then it goes combustion, right? Is next. I haven't built one forever. I forgot how to do this. Generator, right? Or what do you call it? Turbine.
Yeah.
And then this guy would usually go here, right?
Yeah, that's right. But in this example, what we should do is actually get the exhaust further out. The further out the exhausts are, because the exhausts is going to be the point of lift.
Okay.
Because the whole craft is going to have if you just move the whole engines a bit further out, because what we're going to coming back to later is that the whole vessel is going to have a center of mass but it's also going to have a center of lift, and that's the center point between all the exhausts. And the center of lift is going to be sort of like if you have the whole craft tied to a string, the center of lift will be the point where we want to tie the string for it to be perfectly leveled. And that's the kind of thinking we have to do with the VTOLs here. It's the same as if you're making a helicopter, because they will also have a center of lift, usually right below the main rotor. But here we're kind of making a helicopter with 4 rotors or 4 lifting units.
All right, this is going to be a really ugly one. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can just copy the whole thing and place an identical one at the back.
Yeah, trying to do that right now. So if anybody's watching this, do not build it like this. It's too ugly. Build it like his. This is amazing so far. I think this is going to be the top build for next week.
Yeah. Just have to get a proper hole around it, and then it's good to go.
Oh no, I forgot to do this side. Gotta make it look cool on both sides. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Easy so far. Now what?
Well, we can just start by placing down a fuel tank, a pilot seat, and a battery.
Ooh, okay. All right, so do you want it right in front, or do you want to kind of put it back?
We can just take it somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, okay.
Yeah.
So how important is, I guess, balancing when doing these VTOLs? Do you have to have the center of gravity right in the center?
Kind of yes and no. You have 2 ways of doing it. You can either get the point of the center of mass at the same place as the center of lift, and that way you can have the same throttle and RPS on all the jet engines, and that's the most stable way to do it. You can also, if you have a very front-heavy vehicle, you can have a slightly higher RPS on the front engines to stabilize the lift. We will place a gyro down later, so that will take care of the pitch to keep it leveled, even if it's slightly unbalanced. But the more balanced it is mechanically, you could say, it will be more stable.
Okay, so do you spend a lot of time on balancing your builds?
Yes. Yes and no. It depends on the build. Smaller builds are all a lot more easy to balance. Larger ones are a bit harder because you also have fuel to compensate for. Fuel does have weight, so if you have slightly more fuel, for example, in the back of the vehicle, then the center of mass will be different when the fuel tanks is full and when the fuel tanks is empty. So you have to compensate for that at the same time as if you have like 500 tons of fuel, your vehicle will of course be a lot lighter and require a much less RPS to keep stable when the fuel tanks is empty. Yeah.
And so RPS is probably one of the more important things to watch versus like throttle?
Yes, we'll have the microcontroller we're going to use are using PIDs to control the RPS. So all we do is just feed the whole microcontroller a number. So it's just enough to lift off our VTOL. So we don't use more fuel than necessary. And the thing about these normal in-game gyros we have is that they're not completely 100% stable if you give them too much throttle. I guess people have noticed if they give, for example, a helicopter a lot more throttle and a higher RPS than necessary to just lift it off, it's going to be unstable and jump up and down a lot. And that's the same for VTOLs.
Okay. All right. So what is next? We've got batteries, we've got fuel tanks, and jet engines.
Next thing will be the microcontroller. Just send it to you on Discord here.
Oh, okay. Is this different from the one that you have on the workshop?
I think I have updated the one on the workshop to be the same as this one.
So we're just going to put it back here somewhere?
Yeah, just put it anywhere.
All right. Oh, he doesn't want to go in the middle. Hold on. We'll need to build a platform for it. Okay, so just so people know, you can download this on your workshop.
Yes, it's on the Steam workshop for anyone to download, and there's also a link in the description on the workshop file for a guide that I have made.
Oh, there'll be a link in the description of this video too for the guide and everything.
Yeah.
All right. And did you update the guide yet or no? The guide is still the original guide.
The guide is not updated to the throttle controls of this microcontroller, but I'll do that very soon.
Okay. So should I start hooking things up?
Yes.
All right. So let's see. Front left spoiler. So that's going to go here?
Yes, that's right.
All right. See, I'm not totally new at this. All right. And then we have all these in order. So this is pretty good. He's got them all labeled. So you should be able to do this pretty easy, just following his directions. That's nice.
There's a little bit of calibration needed for it to work, because this microcontroller is the absolute basics. Everyone builds very different creations with different balance points and different sizes. So it's going to have different accelerations, because with this microcontroller, we're going to be able to go from a vertical flight to a horizontal flight with using the same engines. And that's a part of the microcontroller. So it calculates the tilt of the engines to go from pointing downwards and thrusting the vehicle upwards to pointing backwards and thrusting the vehicle forwards.
Okay. So wait, are these the new things? Rear, right engine throttle? Is this new? No.
That's going to the combustion chamber. So yeah, that's the new part.
That's a new part. So that's when I tried to build one. That was the part I didn't have, right? So I was like, what do I do with the throttle?
Yeah, that's the part where I just figured out, people should just have to figure that out themselves. But it's much simpler when it's a part of the microcontroller, I guess.
Try that backwards. Okay, there's the right one. Yeah, but I mean, come on. You can't expect people like me to understand what to do. Right.
Yeah. I'm always about, I want to make things as user-friendly as possible. To have like simple things like descriptions on buttons, having them described to the simplest details what it actually does. Having as few functions confuse the user as possible, actually.
Okay, here's a question for you. Which RPS do we hook up on this engine?
In some way, I'm not really sure that it matters. I just use the air intake, take the RPS from that one, but I'm pretty sure that the RPS around the whole engine is actually the same.
Okay.
I haven't really tested it myself, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
All right.
It's like, if it's like real jet engines, then it's going to be like a drive shaft going through all the components from the intake fan through the compressor and to the turbines. It's going to be the same all the way. If it's like a real jet engine, at least.
Rear left. Okay, I keep reading these wrong. I keep redoing them. All right, there we go. All right. So, I mean, all your stuff flies, so I assume you have them hooked up, right?
For the last few VTOLs I've made, I have used this exact microcontroller we have here.
Okay, that looks good. Okay, and what is this here? Gyro roll. Okay, that's going to be for gyro.
Yes, we're going to use a gyro as well.
Right. Oh, this goes to the compressor. Okay. Right engine, right rear engine compressor. This is our on switch, I assume.
Yes, that's right. The compressors are for starting the engines.
All right. Now, there was something a long time ago, and I never really continued to build them. But does the on and off compressor? Do you just turn on the compressor once and then switch this off, or does it stay on all the time?
Yes, you can, of course, just switch it off right after. It's like the ignition on normal combustion engines, where it's just an ignition to get it started until the fuel keeps burning the engine and keeps it going. Yeah.
Okay. And is this chip automatically switch them off, or does it stay on? Or do you have to
switch off? It's automatically switched off again. The compressors are activated up to 0.6 RPS, and that's enough to get the engines ignited. Normal diesel engines will ignite at 2 RPS, when jet engines ignite at 0.5 RPS. You're sure that the engines will be running.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So far, this has been really easy. Is this going to fly right when I spawn it? Is that going to be that easy?
Yes and no. It's going to fly upwards, and you're going to be able to control it, like roll to the sides and yaw and going forwards. But thing about a VTOL like this, it's going to fly as a helicopter to begin with, but the point is that it's also going to be able to fly like an airplane, and an airplane uses control surfaces like rudders and pitching to control its height. And yes, we're going to have to use control surfaces to control the roll and yaw and also the pitch.
Okay, so I have 3 here. I've got input speed, forward throttle, and RPS target.
Yes, okay. The throttle, you can just put that to the WS from the pilot seat.
Okay, WS.
Yeah.
Throttle, okay. Input speed, we need a sensor.
And then there's sort of the gyro. So yeah, we can get to that soon because we have to hook up the gyro too.
Okay.
A and D from the pilot seat, we can put to the roll on the gyro.
Roll. Okay, got it.
Yes, there we have it. And the left-right, we can put to the yaw.
Okay, left-right to the yaw. All right.
Okay, up-down is obviously to the up-down control. Yeah, okay. And the pitch, we're actually going to leave that empty.
Oh, okay.
Because we want, when the whole VTOL craft is in VTOL mode, just flying and keeping itself steady above the ground, it's going to not need to pitch forwards or backwards. It's going to be just completely stable as it is. But we're going to get to pitching when we're going to horizontal flight, so we'll get to that later.
Okay, cool. What's next?
So the next thing is we're going to give the auto hover signal to the gyro, which can just use a simple button or something like that.
Okay, I'll just use number 1.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have an on-off switch from
the engines. Yes, that's just a signal to turn the engines on and off.
All right, we'll do number 2. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Actually, I could write it down here on the seat. Hold on. 1 is gyro. Number 2 is the engine. And these both should be toggled, right?
Yes, toggle both of them.
All right.
Okay, the next thing we can do is give it a throttle value. Then we just make a throttle lever.
Okay.
We put that down in front of the pilot seat, so we're going to be able to control that.
Okay. All right, now how is this different from the WS we hooked up?
Okay, WS is basically going to control the spoilers of the engines, when the throttle lever we're putting down right now is going to control the throttle of the engines. So the engines are going to run at a certain RPS. It can be 10 RPS or 100 RPS. It doesn't matter. The spoilers dictates how much thrust is given from the engines.
Spoiler dictates how much thrust is given to the engines.
Yes.
Okay. I just hooked them all up. Don't know if I need them all hooked up, but I'm doing it. All right. So let's call this one. This is going to be, is this called just throttle?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Throttle. And you can put the max value up to something like, let's say it's 50.
50. Okay.
Because the number we're putting into the microcontroller here is the amount of RPS, like rounds per second, the engines are going to do.
Okay.
You can put the sensitivity of the throttle lever a bit down, like 10%.
Okay. Let's do that.
So it's a bit easier to control.
So what would be the logical thing to label this WS if it's not a throttle? Really?
I would just say forward throttle.
Forward throttle. Okay. So this is a forward throttle, and this would be the, I guess, the engine throttle, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So far, so good. We do need this airspeed sensor, right? Wait, what's that?
Yes, that's the next thing.
All right. So we'll just put it in the front. Whatever. And we need to hook it up to one of these, I think.
Yes, to the speed inputs.
Input speed. There we go.
Is there anything left on the microcontroller that needs to be connected? Or is everything connected now?
I think it's good.
The throttle lever.
The throttle lever? Where? Oh, this one. Where does this go?
Yeah. To the rear one of those 3. Engine RPS, yes.
Okay.
Since it uses PIDs to judge the RPS of the engines, it has a target and a process variable. The process variable is the RPS of that specific engine, and the target is whatever number we tell the RPS to go to. So if we put that throttle lever onto 20, we're basically telling the engines to go to 20 RPS.
And so when we hit the WS on the seat, what is that going to do again?
That is going to basically tilt the engines slightly backwards. And in the microcontroller, there's a function that will make the engines tilt backwards gradually, dependent on how fast we're moving, so that we don't spin out of control and do a barrel roll or a loop, basically.
Okay.
So we'll probably have to do something about that number later, but we'll get to that later.
All right. You know what, though, we're missing? I know what we're missing. We're missing the Lorg's co-pilot seat is what we're missing here. If I'm going to die, you're going to have to die with me.
Yeah.
All right. So we think we have everything hooked up. Batteries are all hooked up. Looks like the controller's hooked up. Is there anything left we need to do, or do we spawn it?
No, I guess we'll just try.
All right.
And see if then anything is missing, then we'll see it.
All right. Well, there it goes. Way over there. From this. Wow. It's far. Okay. Here we go. Sitting inside. All right. There we are. Look at us. We look so cool in this awesome VTOL that I designed. All right. So I'm going to hit number 2, right? Oh, wait. Turn on gyro, right? First off, gyro should always be on, basically?
Yeah, basically always on.
Okay. So gyro's on. And I'm going to hit number 2. Do I have to hit any throttle, or is it fine as it is?
Take the throttle up a little bit. Start by taking it up to something like 5.
So take it up to 5. And I'm going to hit number 2. Uh-oh. What'd I do wrong?
It's on 5?
Yeah. 0.05.
Oh, no, 5, not 0.05. 5.
Oh, an actual 5. Oh!
Yeah, actual 5. This isn't like throttle where it's 0.021 like with a diesel engine. This is an input to a PID. So then we're giving it the actual number of RPS we want it to go to.
Ah, that makes more sense. Okay. Now the engines are on.
Yeah, so everything's working so far. Now we're at 5, I guess. Try increasing it to 10.
It's moving.
Oh, it started to jump a little bit. Yeah, okay. Just get it to 10. Okay. Press upwards, and let's see if it lifts off.
Upwards is the arrow key, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Whoa!
Yes. Okay, trying arrow key left and right. See if it.
Oops,
we actually
that was a roll. That was a roll. Sorry.
That's a roll. Yeah, but it's working at least.
What's left and right?
The orientation of the engine tilts, but we might have to invert those because there is a bug with the rotating engines.
Oh wait, I'm going forward and backwards with left and right.
We have to take care of that in the microcontroller, but that's not a big deal.
Okay. On your builds, do you have an RPS that is automatically set the moment you turn it on?
Yes, it is. But on my builds, it's a little bit more advanced than that because it also takes a value of the amount of fuel inside the VTOL, and also depending on if it has a large cargo bay, if it has cargo on board, it's also taking the weight of both cargo and fuel to calculate how much RPS it's going to need.
That's amazing. How are you doing that? Like, what are you doing it? What are you getting the input based on?
Just the amount of fuel, and if there is anything connected to, for example, the lifting winches.
Oh, okay. So if a magnet is on, you're considering that you have to adjust the RPS.
Yes, exactly. But then there's usually a manual control, like okay, you can increase the lifting strength by 30%. That's often a manual control you have at the pilot seats to increase the lifting power. What we can do now is use the numerical inverters.
Oh, okay.
That's a logic block.
Should we just go with that? We'll just do it that easier than trying to flip the engines?
Yes, that's much easier.
Okay.
And then we put down 2 of them, one at the front left engine and one at the rear left engines, because left engines, those are the ones we need to invert.
I'm lagging for a second. Hold on. There we go. All right. So we'll just go ahead. And we're inverting the
Okay.
rotation target, right?
Yeah. Yes, the rotation is going to be inverted here.
Okay. I assume it was you. Yeah. And we want the front left. Okay. And rotate it there. All right. So if we look at our what you call it, our center of gravity, it's
Yes.
right here. Is that pretty good, or do we need to move
That-
it back?
Yeah, that's pretty good. If we're having a much more advanced aircraft with passenger areas, a front-centered cockpit, and maybe a cargo area, and for example, a lot of fuel in the front and a lot of batteries in the back, the fuel is the weight is going to be more unbalanced, but you'll have to manually control the center of mass on your aircraft to be kind of where the center of lift is. And to find the center of lift, you just have to measure up from where the exhausts output their power, sort of, and find that center point between all the engine units.
Okay, so like when you say passengers, do you actually put the NPCs in there to get the weight of them as well, or you don't really do that?
Oh no, the NPCs does have a weight, but it's not really enough weight that you have to take that into account.
Okay. So it's mainly just the heavy body build and the fuel.
Yes.
Where'd you go? Do you run all the way back over there?
Oh yeah. I did. I just didn't want to stand in the way for the thing spawning in.
Okay, there we go. Number 1, gyro on. Number 2. Oh, and put this to 5, a real number 5. There you go. All right. Good. So when we're turning it to 10, we basically always want to find the right number that gets the thing to start to move, right? And that's our default?
Yes, that's going to be our default. And it all depends on how heavy our vehicle is.
Okay.
And now our vehicle is now obviously very, very light, since it's just a skeleton basically. But when we're getting larger fuel tanks, crew compartments and all stuff like that, it's going to be a lot heavier. So then we have to increase the RPS. Yeah.
So are we looking just for the little bounce? What tells us that we're in the right spot?
The bounce doesn't really matter that much. We just have to increase a little bit, and to find the right spot, we'll just have to use the arrow keys to give it lift, just pressing upwards and see if it's enough to lift up.
Okay.
It's something about the engines that the air pressure of the engines scale in some weird way, where if you give it a lot of throttle certainly, then it will, even if the RPS doesn't get above our limit, that is 10 RPS, it's going to still output more pressure than what we're actually giving it. It's kind of a lag inside the engines, sort of.
Okay. So I'm trying to just get out of here before I hit something.
Yeah. Just how to get us off the ground.
All right. Do we want the up arrow key to be sticky, or do we want it to not be sticky?
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be sticky, no.
Okay. All right. Well, we're out the door.
So if you release the up and down key,
Uh-huh.
let's see if it's going down or actually stable in the air. It's going down a little bit. That means we can increase our engine RPS a little bit. So you can go from 10 to maybe 12.
Okay. There you go. 12.
Oh, it's shaking a bit. Okay, maybe down to 11.
Down to 11. Okay. If it shakes, go down.
Yes. Basically, if it shakes, even when you're not inputting any controls or anything, then just decrease the throttle of it. And it's still shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Try taking it back down to 10.
Okay.
In some way, we might have that weird problem here where we actually have too little weight on our VTOL.
Really?
Yes, because we're using 4 jet engines on a vehicle that's maybe weighing like less than a ton.
Yeah.
So we might actually have a lot more weight than the gyro is possible to control.
There we go. Look at that. We're at 10.08. Ah?
Yeah, that's stable at least.
Yeah.
We're falling a little bit, but that's possible to work around later.
All right. So go ahead.
You can take us upwards and using W to try moving forwards.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
There it goes. W. Oh, it's slowly going.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we're going down. Woo! Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that's the point where we're actually going to need to use control surfaces to get a leveled flight.
Really? Oh, I forgot about those.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because right there we actually got enough speed that the whole weight of our vehicle combined with our forward thrust of the engines was more than needed to keep us stable.
Ooh, look at that. We can do spins.
Yeah. It's actually controllable now. Try rolling from side to side.
Oh, okay.
See if that works.
All right, here we go. Roll to the left. Now, do you have limits on these rolls, or does it go as far as I push it?
Yes. Well, the gyro is the limit.
Okay.
Sort of.
But you don't really have any hard limits in your chip that are stopping me from going too far.
No, not when it comes to the roll and the pitch, no. But when the yaw, yes, there is a limit there. That's very easy to control in the microcontroller.
Okay.
There is a sensitivity number.
Okay, so all right, so we could probably add, just for fun, maybe some weight, I guess.
Yes,
Okay.
that's totally possible.
Okay.
When we have four jet engines like this, we can actually lift a lot more than we have so far.
Wrong one. All right, so we're just gonna put those heavy weight blocks there and see what happens. All right, so the next thing is control surfaces.
Yes, that is right. What we can do now is actually give it another gyro. I actually usually make my sort of own kind of gyro, a manually configured gyro, sort of. But we can, in this example, just use another gyro.
Okay. Another gyro. So we're using two gyros. Interesting.
Yes, because there's going to be one gyro for the vertical flight and one gyro for the horizontal flight.
Okay, so like one is the new one is countering our pitch forward or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's kind of taking over when we're going from the vertical flights and getting to the point where we're going more forwards than upwards. And that's when the control surfaces and our new gyro is starting to take control.
Okay, so do I want just like small surface, medium kind of thing?
We can do the small ones.
The small ones, okay.
So far, it's a pretty small vehicle, so we'll
Okay.
just use small
And
ones.
where is the best spot for these? Like on the engines or?
Now we're getting to the point that it's actually making a thing like a normal aircraft. We're going to need a roll control, pitch, and yaw, just like a normal aircraft.
Oh, okay. So do I just want like elevator in the back and ailerons
Yes,
in the?
yes.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
basically.
All right then. Let's put this little guy, and then we want these are like our ailerons, right, in the front here, maybe. I guess.
Yes.
All right. So let's reverse this one actually. And put this up.
Now there is actually a way to use the engines to control both the pitch and the roll, but not the yaw. Not as far as I have figured out yet, but maybe possible. But that's kind of a challenge for people if they want to try using only the engines and no control surfaces at all to control every flight function of the vehicle.
Okay. So on these front ones that are kind of like ailerons, do we want the roll to be hooked up to these, or the?
Yes,
yaw?
that's the roll.
Okay, that's the roll. Just making sure. Wasn't sure. Okay. There we go. And then we got our pitch that goes to the back, right? I assume.
Yes. So this microcontroller here is going to be hooked up pretty much like any normal airplane,
Okay.
to be exact.
But we don't need a rudder, right? Or do we?
To control the yaw, yes, we will have to use that.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yes, because when we're getting up to speed and all the engines are basically just tilted backwards and giving us forward thrust, none of those engines are controlling either our yaw, pitch, or roll. So that's when we're going to use control surfaces to control all those things. So then we of course have to use a control surface to control our yaw as well.
All right. So this is looking pretty ugly, but it's going to function, right? Going to need the yaw. Okay. So hopefully I have these correct, and I'm assuming we want these to turn on.
Yeah, and to the gyro, we can just hook up the normal controls like A and D to roll, and up down to pitch, and left right to yaw.
Up down to pitch. This is our yaw. Wait, is ADR? Oh, that's our roll. Roll, and then our left right. Wait, left right yaw. Yes. What did I miss? Wait, up down? I didn't hook up.
Up down? No, that's not going anywhere actually.
Oh, okay. So up down goes to pitch.
Yes, that's right. Because a VTOL like this, if we're going to have the same controls for both vertical flight and horizontal flight, it's going to be a mix between a helicopter control and an airplane control. So with an airplane, we would normally have inverted controls with the pitch, but we would also have up-down controls with the arrow keys up-down to control the altitude. So it's sort of a mix. People can change this however they like. You decide for yourself how you're going to hook this up, but this is just the way I have normally used it.
The WS does not go to the pitch, though, right?
No. That's only to the microcontroller that's controlling the engines.
Okay. All right. So are we ready to try again?
Yeah, basically, yes.
All right. Well, I can test the control surfaces right now to see if they're hooked up, right? Before I go anywhere.
That's a good idea.
Okay. So roll right. That pushes the wing. Wait, that's backwards.
Yeah, that's if you're going right. Then
Okay.
yes,
That one's backwards.
That's
Okay.
inverted.
Let's see. Up. I'm gonna push. Wait. Okay. So this is the up arrow key, right? I want the pitch to be like that when I go up.
Yeah, that's right. And now there's a yaw.
And the yaw is left, right. Okay. So only my ailerons were messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, that happens every time I build a plane. I can never remember which way these arrows should be. Okay.
Oh, neither me. I just don't really bother with remembering it. I just test it out. Trial and error. Everything is just trial and error.
Trial and error. Okay. I feel better about my builds now. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like whenever I start building a new VTOL, like the first flight always ends with a crash immediately. It's like backflips immediately. It always happens. There's no other way around it. No one makes a successful VTOL on their first try.
Wait, how did Billy join the game?
What, Billy?
Wait, didn't I have a password on this thing? Good guess. What a dog. Okay. All right. Well, apparently Billy is crashing my my video here with Lorix by guessing the password, which was kind of a dumb password, but still, I didn't think anyone would actually try it. Okay, so in case you didn't know, the passwords is Lorix, everybody, but this video is already recorded, so it can't work now, but it is Lorix. So silly. Okay, roll right. Pushes the left wing up, pushes the right wing down. Okay, up arrow is pushing the back down. That's correct, you said?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
So now when we push down, the down arrow, it's pushing the back end up. In my brain, for some reason, I think that it should be the WS key for some reason because we're moving forward. But
yeah, that's because we normally use airplanes with WS to control the pitch and all that, but
Yeah.
this is a VTOL. It's going to be a combination between the kind of controls we have with a helicopter and an airplane, which is totally different things normally.
Okay. All right. Well, we will try it then. All right. You're in. We've got more weight added. I forgot to... I think I forgot to turn on the gyro. There it is. Now it's on. Go into 5. Should I go to 10 right off then? It's already started.
Yeah, maybe gradually.
Okay, so we're at 10. Now I'm going to hit the up arrow, and nothing's happening.
Yeah, we have a lot more weight on us right
Okay.
now, so probably have to do a little bit more.
Okay, I bounced at 13.
A little bit more maybe.
Okay. I'm going to go to 14. Bounced. No, nothing happening there.
Not yet. A little bit more.
Okay, a little over 15 here. No. Okay, we're almost to 17 here. Can we go up now? No. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe I added too much weight. Okay, we're at 18. 18, is that the magic number? No. All right.
A little bit more, a little bit more.
19. Okay, whoa.
Oh, almost.
Wait, it went back down. What? Okay.
Okay.
Almost 20 here. Is that it? Is that the magic? No.
A little bit more.
Oh. All right.
This is the process of building a VTOL. It's just trial and error.
Now, so I think that it's going up and then it goes right back down. All right. 21. Is that it? Oh, I'm lagging.
Maybe.
I can't tell. I'm a little bit slow here. Come on. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh.
I'm
It
scared.
looks like we're maybe there.
All right, going forward. Hitting the W. Oh. Oh, I broke everything. All right, so we know it's kind of like 21, I think. Wait, can I start at 21?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to probably jump a little bit, but hopefully it's going to be all right.
All right.
I have had times where it just flies up into the roof, explodes, and kills me.
Oh, okay.
That's happened a lot. So let's just hope we survive this.
All right. Whoa. Oh, it's...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you think 21 is good, or should I go a little bit lower? By how it acted?
No, 21 looks good.
Okay.
As long as it's not shaking violently, then it's not. Then it's good.
Okay. So I'm trying to get out of here. Oh, we're lagging again. All right. Okay, so when I'm pushing up, those elevators are going up as well.
Yeah, they're porting upwards because the controls to the spoilers of the engines is the same that goes to our control surfaces.
Okay, let's get out of here safely so we can test it. Come on, you can do it. Go forward, don't go too high. All right, we made it. Okay, so let's get a little altitude before I break things. So I'm going to push forward, and the elevators are going to... See, doesn't that look wrong?
Oh yeah, they pointed us downwards.
Yeah.
Okay. What we're going to have to do then is invert the outputs of our gyro going to those elevators, but also invert the inputs to that gyro.
I flipped these, right? Because you said go ahead and flip these. So they're flipped over.
Yes.
And then I still need to invert something, right?
Yes, invert the input going from the pilot seat to our front gyro.
From the pilot seat to our front gyro. Okay.
I hope that's going to work.
Okay, so up down goes into your... Where's it going? Into the first gyro. And then up down goes into the inverter. And the inverter goes into the pitch, right?
Yeah, to the pitch.
Okay. So I'm good. And then
Yeah.
this pitch goes to the...
Goes to the elevator control surface. Yes.
Okay, I think we got it. So this should be it, right? This is if this works, we have made a VTOL, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay.
We'll just have to hope.
All right. All right. Set to 21 automatically. We've got our engines. We've got our 2 gyros and a marvelous chip by Lorgs to help you build a VTOL. And we walked through it, so hopefully this will help you make your own VTOL. Uh-oh. Wow, it changed a little bit, but it's still working.
Yeah.
So now your VTOLs don't do what that one just did. So what is wrong with this?
Oh no, that's because I'm kind of cheating a little bit. I have a system that cuts all thrust from the spoilers until the engines have reached the right RPS.
Ah, okay.
That's how I work around that. Or I use an up-down counter or an input to the throttle lever.
Okay.
That increases the throttle slowly and gradually, so it doesn't get a kick like that.
All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and that up and down is nice. Look at that. It rises so nicely.
Yeah.
And then I go forward. I'm hitting W. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Come on up. Wait, why aren't you going up? Come on up. Come on up. There we go. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to go W again. W. All right. Oh.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Back up, reverse. We're going to crash. Oh, no. Oh, wait, it didn't damage it. It didn't damage it. Wait. Uh-oh. I don't have enough power to go up, it feels like. It feels like I'm still struggling to go upwards.
Oh, maybe we should do a little bit more throttle on the engines.
Okay. Now I'm lagging, so I can't move. Hold on. All right, let's do a little bit more throttle. Like a 0.50 or a full?
A little bit more. 23 we can go
23? Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. 23. All right, I'm going to push up. And now we are flying. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to hit W again. Okay. And looks like my elevators don't really seem to be, doing anything. Did I forget to hook up the power? All right, so let's check these rear elevators out again. Did I forget something? Like power? Yes.
Oh, it is power, yeah.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So that should be fixed. All right, so we're going to click on the chip, and we're going to see a magical number.
Yes.
Oh, two magical numbers.
Yes, that's the yaw sensitivity and the horizontal transition sensitivity, as I call it. As it says there, input number is speed at which engines will be fully tilted. So as a default, that's 150. Yeah. But since we have a small vehicle with only 4 jet engines and not that much weight, we can set that to 40, I will guess.
40. Okay, so wait a minute.
Yes.
I need to understand this because I'm a little confused. So this is when your engine when you're going, is it when you're going fast forward that you want this to be lower or higher?
Yeah. So basically, when you press W, the engines will tilt back a little bit to make the whole vehicle accelerate forwards, and then it will use the speed to judge how much it's going to tilt the engines, so that at a certain point the engines will be fully tilted backwards.
Okay, so if I still quite don't understand how this works. So if it's a lighter vehicle, this number is usually lower, and if it's a heavier vehicle, this number would probably be higher?
No, if it's a faster vehicle, it's going to have a higher number.
If it's a faster vehicle. I would think that we would be pretty fast, but...
I think this thing could be pretty fast.
But I added too much weight? Is that the problem?
We'll just have to see, actually.
All right.
The 150, I don't really remember which vehicle I used that as default on, but I think it was a pretty fast one. So we'll just have to test it and see.
All right, so here goes the W. 1, 2, 3. All right. So we need to take the number down, right?
Oh no, sorry. Opposite.
Opposite. Okay.
They tilted too early because they will be fully tilted when we're at 40 meters per second because we put in the number 40. So if we just double that to 80, for example, or take it to 100 maybe, then that might work.
Well, it was at 150. We don't want to take it back up there because it was doing...
150 was the original number.
Yeah, and that was wrong, the way it was going?
Yeah, that was not correct. So let's just try 100 to
okay,
begin
100. So if, let's remember this now. If you're pitching up, then put the number down. If you're pitching down, then put the number up, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is not easy. This is complicated.
Yeah.
And you've really figured it out. But to remember everything is kind of a pain, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I have to admit that the first VTOLs I made didn't have this system at all. The forwards motion and propulsion was from a separate group of engines, not the same engines that provided upwards lifts.
You had them sticking out the back, right?
Yes, exactly. There's a separate group of engines. My newer VTOLs also has these, but those are just there to provide additional thrust and speed.
Okay.
You can run with only the VTOL engines or with those additional booster engines as well.
Now, if I were to stick boosters on here, would that really mess things up, or would it work okay?
Oh, it would actually work okay, because the microcontroller uses the speed to judge how much the VTOL engines are going to tilt.
Okay.
So that wouldn't actually be a problem.
Oh, so you don't have to really counter engines on the back at all?
No, not really.
At least not once you have this part done.
No, as long as those engines are controlled by that same factor of WS controls from the pilot seats, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. So since I'm rising pretty slow, that has to do with the RPS, right?
Yes, RPS and the weight of our vehicle.
Okay. All right, we're pretty high. Let's go ahead and hit the W. Are you ready? You think it's going to work this time?
It's going to work better than the last time, at least.
Oh, better than okay.
That's all VTOLs are about. It's going to work better than the last time.
Okay, it's starting to tip. Wait, what's it doing? Whoa, we're going down. Whoa, I'm trying to block it. Oh, no, don't go down. Don't crash. So, that was at 100. What do you think? What's the magic number here?
Whenever I try these numbers, I always increase or decrease them by 50%. So we know that 150 is too much, so let's increase by 50%, so 125. That's like always my technique when calibrating PIDs or sensitivity on anything. I'll just increase or decrease by 50% always. So that's like the fastest way to find the magic number.
Sounds good to me. Number 1, turn on the gyros. Number 2, turn on the engine. And now we're going to go ahead and see if this works. We're so close to having a working VTOL.
Yeah, we are really close, actually.
So right now the engines are still spooling up, and I'm going to jump up in the air for a second, right?
Yes.
Oh, there it goes.
But that can be solved by having the engine's RPS increase slower by using one of the up-down counters, or by just increasing that throttle lever slower.
Okay. All right, here we go. It's flying really nice now forward. Feels like it.
Yeah. That's a nice thing about VTOLs. They are pretty stable.
Now, how easy would it be, or hard to be, if we just want to swap these jet engines for like helicopter engines? Would that totally ruin everything?
No, not really. You could say that the pitch controls on rotors are the same as the rotation controls on these jet exhausts, the same as the collective controls on rotors are the same as the spoilers on these exhausts. So yeah.
All right, I am full W right now, just holding it down. How's it look?
Yeah, we are actually flying horizontally. We have gone from a vertical flight now to horizontal flight. If you try to use up and down keys to control our altitude.
Okay. It actually pitches upwards.
Yes, it actually pitches upwards.
Now, there's nothing we can do about the little flappy control surfaces, right? That you've found? Wings?
Oh, that's the point where I actually use a manually controlled gyro, actually using a custom gyro.
Oh, is that the
Because
gyro doing that? Oh.
Yeah, that's the point where I actually use, I just use tilt sensors connected to a function and add that to the controls from the seats, so that the controls from the seats will be countered by the tilt sensor. And that's basically how a gyro works.
Okay, so that would be nice. I mean, I'm just going to say that would be a nice addition to your chip for some new people.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot larger, that microcontroller, but it's definitely possible.
Cool. Looking forward to that. But look at this thing. It's flying.
Yeah, it's actually flying. Try rolling. See if that works.
Oh, I get scared with the rolls. All right, here we go. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
It's not flipping over. Look at that.
We actually have a flying VTOL right now.
All right. So now all I have to do really is get one of your builds, copy the design, and slam it on here, and it's done, right?
Yeah, kind of. They have a little bit more stuff, like, for example, the booster engines to give additional speed. Those use some numbers from the VTOL engines to judge how much speed they're going to add, for example, to give the right amount of speed boost.
Very cool.
So it doesn't spin out of control.
All right, so I think we are done with the VTOL, right? Is there anything else you can think of, or
Yeah,
is this good to go?
No, this is a flying and working VTOL. You can try landing if you want, like doing a soft and precise landing.
Yeah, I'm going to land
That's
right there in front of the hangar. Hold on, let's...
As long as your VTOL can lift off, fly horizontally to a target, and then land on a certain area of your choosing, then you have a successful VTOL.
All right, look at this, look at this. This is great. Wow. You made this look completely easy. I'll never remember how I did this, but thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, if it's okay with you, I'm going to upload this to the workshop as like a little template people can look at.
Yeah, sure.
And then I will link to your guide and your chip, of course, that does this, and people can make their own. But now I think we should go ahead and load up one of your later models, or your newer models.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so what is the newer one? Is it the E11?
E11 is the newest one. That's the small fighter jet. It's I could say that it's not really perfect when it comes to that stabilizing that we talked about before, like transitioning between VTOL and horizontal flight, because the acceleration is so fast. I've actually thought about making myself a G-force calculator just to see how many G it generates, because it's a lot. It goes from like 100 from 0 to 200 knots in less than a second.
Does this have 6 engines facing backwards?
No, actually 8, because the front engines here as well, they also point backwards. So it has a total of 8 engines. The VTOL engines will go to something like 120 RPS, I believe. And these 4 booster engines back here, they will go to 150, if I remember right.
Oh, wait, so these engines on the wings are the ones that are the VTOL part, right?
Yes, that's the VTOL engines, which gives us a vertical flight and control during low speeds. And the 4 large ones at the back are just for additional speed.
Wow, and so when you start moving forward, these VTOLs switch to pushing backwards, right? And then it just like,
yes.
It's like a plane.
They tilt backwards exactly like the one example we just made. They are functioning in the exact same way. They're using the exact same microcontroller that we just used.
Oh, look, you can ride on the ladders.
Yeah, that's why the ladders are there. So you can get up to it.
How do we get in this one?
Yeah, you actually use the ladders. Get up to the ladders
really?
on the front wings, so you can get in front of the cockpit there.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
it's a top one.
There's a button on the roof here, open cockpits.
Oh, this is different. Okay.
So you have 1 pilot seat and 2 passenger seats. I'll let you drive.
Okay, okay. So, while we're here, let's talk about this whole line of vehicles. It's called, how do you say it? HUBRO?
HUBRO, or HUBRO, or whatever you like.
Okay, and how did you come up with the whole line of vehicles?
So I have made a lot of VTOLs in the past. I have the kind of array collection, like manta ray style inspired VTOL collection, which had the Atmo ray, the Strato ray, and the Obscure ray, which was 3 very different vehicles with different purposes and all like that. And I had a 3 months break from Stormworks recently, and when I came back, I just thought to myself, like, what do the community want? What should I build for the community? And I just thought that, yeah, I have to build some new VTOLs. VTOLs is the thing that people want. That's what people want to see from me. So I started the HUBRO series. Started with the T12. The T stands for Transcendence, and the T12 was basically a simple transport vehicle. Then there was the T18, which was the same aircraft but with equipment for search and rescue and firefighting. Then there was the next model, which was the L9. L stands for Leviathan. And that's one of the larger modules.
Yeah.
Which was a multi-purpose vehicle with a large cargo bay and stuff like that. And then there was this one, of course, the E11, E standing for Enforcer, because this is more like a military vehicle. It's a jet fighter. It also has 4 rockets on it.
Yeah. Did you know that the E11 is also a stormtrooper gun, I think?
No, is it? Really?
I think so. I could be wrong, but I think it's the little stormtrooper laser thing.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Well, the numbers behind these letters are just completely random. I just chose a number that's comfortable to say, like T12. That's a comfortable name. T12.
Yeah.
Or E11. That's comfortable to say. The last model I'm working on right now is the C70.
The last model. You're done with VTOLs, or done with this line of VTOLs?
I think I'm done with the HUBRO series.
Okay.
I don't have any more planned for the moment, and to be honest, I have been building VTOLs for 3 weeks straight now. I'm so tired of these VTOLs.
Okay.
But the C70, C standing for Colossus, because this thing is massive. It's going to be, it's able to spawn in a normal hangar, but it automatically drives out of the hangar and extends its wings. So it's the max width you can have in a hangar is 36 meters, but this one has a wingspan of over 50 meters.
All right.
So it's technically larger than a standard build area.
One of the most amazing things I remember about your VTOLs, well, besides that it kills your frame rate, besides that, the smaller manta ray one, I don't remember what it's called, the smaller one.
The Strato ray.
Yes, that one was amazing because it felt organic the way it had the tail, and when it turned, it felt like it was like a creature flying.
Yeah, I added that to make it feel like kind of like a living creature. It had the wings moving and the tail moving according to if you're rolling or yawing or pitching. So yeah.
Yeah,
that was
probably the most amazing thing about it, is it felt alive. Like it felt like a living spaceship thing, I guess. And I remember another thing is, I think this was with your first larger one, the original Manta.
The Atmo ray.
Yeah, the Atmo ray. It also had a very, from all the different waypoint flying vehicles, it had a very soft, like, I don't know what you want to call it, but when it reached the waypoint, it slowed down and kind of moved in a certain way that felt like the vehicle was actually paying attention to what it was doing. I don't know if I'm just projecting that, but all your vehicles feel very like they're thinking about what they're trying to do. They're not just like going to a waypoint and stopping, you know?
Yeah, that's correct in some way, because I put a lot of work into making my vehicles being able to operate by themselves, that you can just put in coordinates for the autopilot and it's going to fly there by themselves. They're going to decelerate comfortably. And there's a lot of hidden functions in the microcontrollers, like most of the HUBRO series. They have, for example, a function that they will actually pitch upwards if they're getting too close to water, because they are not rated for landing in water. So basically, they're actually avoiding with the water.
All right, so you have a lot of, like, I guess it would be like air checking, right? You're checking for different things, obstacles and water and stuff. That's very cool.
Yeah, they have most of them have what I call the auto ovation system, which it's just a laser sensor on the top on the tip of the aircraft that uses also the speed to calculate so that it avoids collisions. Basically, that's simple. This model here, the E11, doesn't have that, because it's meant to be like, when do you sit in a fighter jet and just take a cup of coffee and sit browse in Instagram when you're on autopilot constantly? Like, you don't really do that with a fighter jet.
This is true.
So this one doesn't have the auto ovation. It requires the pilot to actually be aware of what's happening.
All right, so before we go, I'm going to go ahead and look at this wonderful cockpit, which has all these cool screens with information. Altitude hold off, autopilot off. We've got kilometer range. What is that kilometer range for?
It just tells you how many kilometers you can do at the current speed.
Oh, okay. And we got
before your
VTOL
fuel
RPS,
runs out.
Booster RPS fuel, 99%. Oh, you need a percentage on this, huh? Altitude and knots. And then we have all this stuff in here. And this thing fires rockets off, right?
Yes, it has 4 rockets on the back wings.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this in the air and figure out what to do. VTOL engines, I assume, is what I want to push.
Yes.
All right, now this is automatic. Watch. This one's not going to bounce up in the air, right?
No, this is going to be a lot more stable.
Okay. So the engines are on. It did not move at all. And they're kind of spooling up there. Okay, cool. And let's see. Hold full speed. Okay, I want to do that. So what do I want to do? Do I just want
to... just wait. Now it's at VTOL RPS is at 21.3.
Yeah.
That's the magic number. Okay. So now we can just use the up-down keys to lift off.
All right. Oh, look at how smooth this one is.
Yeah. You can retract the landing gear by pressing 1.
Okay, let's get out of the garage first, in case I slam it back into the ground. This is almost as good as the VTOL I just built.
Yeah, it's basically the same. It's pretty much the same size as well.
Oh, and you got laser beams. What are the laser beams for landing?
Yeah, that's for guiding how, like, where the landing gear is. So you see where you're actually going to land.
All right, so I hit number 1, landing gear went up. All right.
Yes. You can actually just press 3 or the hold full speed button, and then it just automatically goes to full speed.
Really?
Like full throttle. Yes.
All right,
you can try that. That's a bit fun.
3, 2, 1. Whoa. Oh, this is nice. Look at that. So every build you do feels a lot different, huh?
Yeah, that's basically because they have different function, they're different size, they have different equipment, they have different purposes.
Okay, so the up arrow is my pitch. I got to remember that, because I was trying to do W. I was like, oh, that's not working. I have to use the up arrow, and then while it's going forward, it just pitches up. All right.
Oh, if you want, you can enable the booster engines, and that will.
Wait, they're not on yet?
No, they're not on. No, we're just using the VTOL engines, and now our speed is going to be something like a bit over 300 knots,
Okay.
but our speed is going to be over 440 knots.
I just hit number 6.
Is
that all I had to do? Oh, there they go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going down because I like to see the water. Whoa, not too far down. Now, does this one have a water warning system, or will it not avoid the water if I go down?
At some speeds it will. You can,
Okay.
of course, just go straight down at full speed and it will crash in the water, but if it's just floating around in VTOL mode, it's going to avoid the water. You have a button in front of you.
Okay.
Like, it's on the left side of the map screen. On the top you have arrows going up and down, and that's controlling your max throttle by a percentage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you just press that up button, you will have a gauge on the left of that button, which says how many percent. That's limiting the throttle.
Oh, do I want to limit it, or do I want to unlimit it?
No, just go to 100%.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yes.
What? Oh my gosh. I'm waiting for the sonic boom.
Yeah, we're at least 150.
Actually, it's flying more stable now than it was before when it was going slower. There's no
Yeah,
bounce.
the thing is, it likes speed. You could say that the air resistance keeps it stable in some way.
Yeah, look at this. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna try to get. Whoa! It didn't like the water. It blocked. I was trying to get
exactly.
Lower. Yeah.
If you get a bit below a certain altitude, something like 15 meters above the water, it will pitch upwards.
Look at that. I'm doing my left turn now. Going towards that island in the distance.
If we get to a bit higher up, you can actually disable the stabilizing, and then you'll be able to do stuff like barrel rolls and loops and stuff like that.
Really?
Yes, because now all the controls are hooked to the gyro and the custom gyro and stuff like that to keep it stable and not flip around and keep the pitch leveled. But you can disable that by pressing the disable stabilizing button, and then you have fully manual control.
Okay, where's that button at?
I think you can press 4, or you have that button on your left side, if I'm not wrong.
I don't see that. Oh yeah, disable. Okay. So now we're still going fast. Is it okay if we go fast to do this?
Yeah, sure.
All right, rolling. Okay, she's slow on the roll.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be really that violent when it comes to the roll.
Okay, so should I be able to do what, like a loop or something?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Are we have ammo?
Are we? Fuel? Oh, we used up the fuel.
Okay. Oh, look, there's one engine on. All right, there's only one thing we can do before we end this video, besides falling to the earth. How do we fire the rockets off?
Okay, there's a button down
rockets?
to your left. Yes, enable rockets, and then press button 2, if I guess. It sets in the tooltips.
Okay. Oh, we got decoy flares too. Oh, you added flares.
Yeah, I did that today actually.
Those are our help us rescue flares. Okay, and I hit number 2 to fire the rockets.
I think so. It says in the tooltips.
Here we go. Oh, does it fire one each time I press it?
One at a time, yes.
Oh, we're lagging. Do we have time to do the outro before we hit the ground? Let's do it.
I guess
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm upside down, actually. Oh, well. All right, well, that's it for today. This has been Lorgs with the VTOL tutorial. I will see you next time. I will have everything in the description below for the guide, the chip, and his other vehicles as well. So go check that out. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the bell so it goes ding dong when I upload a video. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button
before you hit the ground. And I'll see you next time. Say bye, Lorgs.
Goodbye.